Welcome to Fun Mentals, where you want to go and what you want to know to develop a playful mindset. I am your host, Baron von Merkbach. I posted an earlier video about one's purpose in life. I'm sure I'll post many more on that topic in the future. I think it's so important for us humans to have our big why in life. When you get clarity on your purpose or purposes, it just makes moving through life a lot more fun. It's not just about having direction, which really simplifies all the navigating we have to do. With the ongoing onslaught of choices we all need to make all the time, it's so valuable to have that light to follow. However far off course we sometimes find ourselves, having that North Star will always reorient us, if we're looking for it. As much as this topic is discussed, it's curious that so few people know what their purpose in life is, or that so few people think that clarifying their purpose is something they need to spend much time with. We'll know it when we see it, right? We can't rush the process of uncovering such an important part of who we are, after all. We can't force ourselves to just pick our purpose and run with it, can we? Besides, our purpose might change or evolve over time, so what's the point of pinning ourselves down? Those are all true and valid points, yet I think the reasons why we want to identify our purpose far outweigh the reasons why not to. And I mean outweigh in terms of our happiness, our well-being, and our sense of fulfillment for who we are and what we make the biggest difference expressing. Here's something I believe is very useful to absorb as we all pursue our lifelong loves and dreams. It doesn't matter what our purposes in life are. It only matters that we name them. Until our purpose is named, it can't get out of our head. So with that long-winded introduction to the subject of this video,
get on with it.
Let's talk about how to spot the things we most enjoy doing and find the most interesting. Let's see how to find our fun and fascination combo. Now, at first you might think, well, gee, I find all kinds of things fun and fascinating. So this is going to boil down to your personal preferences. But I want you to think about those things that are the most enjoyable and the most interesting to you. Answer these questions. 1. Have I been consistently engaging with it? It doesn't have to be much, but it's something that has kept jumping out for you over the years. Long after some interests have come and gone, this particular thing is still something you love engaging with. It's something you can see engaging with for the rest of your life. And here's the second question to ask yourself. Have I been consistently learning more about it? Again, this is about your long-term fascination as a personal preference. So you may have gone to school for a favorite subject that translated to a career. But you must think that if you didn't have to keep informed because it's your job now, would you still want to become an expert in it? Right? If you didn't have to, would you still learn more about it on your own? Those are the two questions to ask yourself for uncovering your purposes. What is most fun and what is most fascinating? But if you're still having trouble pinning this down, ask yourself a third question. Which of those things you find most fun and fascinating would make the biggest difference with the most people? Now, why didn't I just suggest that as the first question? Because we often get ourselves wrapped up in this idea that our purposes should be for something that is worthy. If it's what most calls to you, it is the most worthy of your time in life. And it can be difficult to hear that call if you're trying to weigh its worth. Now, here's a final question to ask yourself that may really seal the deal for you. What could I be one of the best in the world at? Right? Like, if you buckled down and pursued it, you could actually be in the top 10% of whatever it is, worldwide. Doesn't even matter if you're only so-so at it now. You know, personally, that with consistent practice, you could become really good at that thing you find fun and fascinating. Even if you don't feel like you will pursue it, what's something that you can honestly see yourself mastering? Once you can identify what your purpose or purposes are for you, now you have your starting point. And if you're thinking, starting point? You mean I've got the entire race in front of me? I would say, that's right. You're only at the beginning. You may have been practicing for a long time now, but until you commit to the race, just knowing which direction to go doesn't mean much unless you run. We absolutely have to begin with that clear path, but only we can choose whether we're going to follow it to its destination. I have to tell you, when I got clear that one of my purposes in life was to promote the possibilities of play, I wasn't exactly thrilled about it. It felt completely right, but I didn't know where to go with it. Even though it's constantly fun and fascinating for me, I had no idea what to do about it. I mean, what was I supposed to do to be this advocate for play? I had zero intention at first to be some kind of speaker about it. I never considered writing a book about it, or in any other way take some public stance for it. I expressed play because it was fun, and I was fascinated about the state of being playful. But what was I going to say about something that even I thought wasn't all that profound, compared to traditional philosophies about life and how to live it? Getting clear about one of my purposes didn't make my life any better. It did give me a direction and a focus, but I wasn't suddenly motivated to start singing from the mountaintops. And as the years went by, this purpose that I had identified even seemed like not such a good idea. I often felt that I should choose something more important, more substantial, more tangible. And my practical side was thinking that I should pick something more marketable. Personal growth and self-help gurus are a dime a dozen. What was I possibly going to add to that heap? Well, suffice it to say, I am glad I didn't give up this pursuit around play. It has become a real anchor in my life and has influenced everything I've done since, and will do in the future. I finally accepted that it really was up to me to express what is possible when we play. Not just to have fun, although what more reason, right? But also how it can produce transformation in how we think, feel, and act. So at the risk of sounding like a broken record, I urge everyone and anyone to isolate those one or two things that you absolutely love and are absolutely fascinated with. As far as I have been able to determine, it must be both to qualify as a purpose in life. Only then can it really make the biggest difference. You know, many people advise to follow your heart to discover your big quest in life. I agree, because for me, that is essentially the fun part. Pursuing the sheer enjoyment of playing in whatever playground most calls to us. So for sure, follow your heart. At the same time, I think we ought to give equal attention to our funny bone, because following what's most fun doesn't get as tangled up in questions of worthiness or sacrifice. That's the whole ball game, folks. Ask yourself what you find the most fun and the most fascinating. And of those things you come up with, what is it that will make the biggest difference for the most people? And of those things, what could you actually see yourself mastering? If you can identify what answers those questions, I am suggesting that is your purpose in life. You may be thrilled to pinpoint your purpose and eager to start running. Or you may be like me and wonder what the heck to do about it. Either way, it will both free you and bind you. If you ever get confused or concerned about why you are here on this earth, you need look no further than what you most love to do and most love to learn more about. The killer combo of fun and fascination. What you do next is what determines how awesome your life will be going forward. I am biased, but I recommend you chase those dreams and never look back. No matter how far you ever get, you'll always be getting closer to who you were meant to be. It is not an easy or comfortable decision to make, but I guarantee you'll have a blast once you start. Now, of course, go out and play.